As fans are probably aware, Gervonta Davis, a holder of several multiple world championships in 3 different weight classes, is scheduled to face Luis Garcia and Ryan Garcia next year. Who did Gervonta Davis say he wants to face after those two? Hint: it's an undisputed lightweight champion. What do we know about the next fight of Gervonta Davis? Keep watching to find out. Firstly, what are some cases where tune-up fights have gone wrong? In light of Tank Davis versus Hector Garcia's future fight. By booking a bout with Hector Garcia before Ryan Garcia, Davis is taking a big risk. Hector is currently a world champion, after crushing Roger Gutierrez 6 months later to win the WBA Super Featherweight Championship. He showed that the Colbert bout was no accident. Is this a mistake? Why not immediately engage Ryan Garcia in combat? According to reports, Maxie Hughes might be Garcia's opponent in a tune-up fight, which would be a risk given Hughes' previous performance. Here are 5 of the best examples of stay busy battles going wrong, the consequences, and the potential of disaster for Davis or Garcia before they face each other. A tune-up fight has gone wrong before, and it won't be the last either. Firstly, Zab Judah versus Carlos Baldomir in January 2006. After winning the WBC, IBF, and WBA World Welterweight titles, Judah was scheduled to face Floyd Mayweather in the summer of 2006. But first, he engaged in a tune-up match with Carlos Baldomir. Judah was predicted to win easily, and Baldomir would have suffered his 10th career defeat. Judah lost a close but unanimous decision because he simply couldn't handle Baldomir's intensity during the fight. The Mayweather bout was still scheduled, but it wasn't as popular as it ought to have been. Secondly, Eric Morales versus Zahir Rahim in September 2005. Morales beat Pacquiao in a great match, making a rematch unavoidable. Looking back now, defeating Pacquiao was Morales' last amazing night. In a matchup against the quick Zahir Rahim, Morales was outboxed. Eric's timing was incorrect, whereas Rahim displayed good head movement and counterattack. The rematch between Pacquiao and Morales still took place, but in the 10th round, Morales' iron chin ultimately gave way. Thirdly, Victor Ortiz versus Josecito Lopez in June 2012. Ortiz was making his comeback in this match. Even though he had previously lost to Mayweather, Ortiz was one of the biggest names in sports, and the stoppage was contentious, so he still had a lot of credibility at this point. If he had won, Canelo would have been his next opponent. Everything was going well, and he was up on all 3 scorecards, but he stayed in for the 10th round. Despite winning, he struggled under Lopez's pressure, and obviously didn't want to go another 3 rounds with a fractured jaw. Even the referee seemed taken aback by his quitting. In reference to Rocky Balboa, Lopez referred to it as his Rocky moment. The fight against Canelo still took place, and Ortiz lost. Lastly on this list is Paulie Malignaggi versus Lovemore Endow in May 2008. Paulie had won Endow the previous year, but this rematch was to place Paulie on the Ricky Hatton undercard at Manchester City Stadium in order to promote a confrontation between the two. Endow was significantly better in the fight, and Malignaggi's had serious problems with his hair, which he eventually had to cut during the fight, as it was in his face very often. The English fans booed loudly when Malignaggi was given the win. It continued the Hatton fight, which Ricky ended in an 11th round submission after dominating. Also, what do we know about Gervonta Tank Davis's next fight? News about Gervonta Davis's upcoming fight has arrived. The WBA lightweight champion is anticipated to make a comeback in January, in what is thought to be a warm-up fight for an anticipated fight against Ryan Garcia in 2019. But in the coming year, what adversary will Tank face? On January 7th in the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C., Gervonta Davis will defend his 135-pound championship against Hector Luis Garcia. In November, he made the announcement on his Instagram page. After a stellar year in 2022, Garcia is on a roll and will give Davis a good challenge to begin his 2023 campaign. While many will view Davis versus Garcia as a warm-up for the much-awaited battle between Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis early in the following year, Tank cannot underestimate Garcia going into their fight night in January, since he is a legitimate ring talent. It makes sense that Davis would be more preoccupied about his forthcoming fight with Ryan Garcia. It will earn him a lot of money and is much more pertinent. However, that way of thinking can take him down a very risky path where he misses Hector Luis Garcia, trains improperly, and suffers one of the biggest upset losses of the decade. Garcia is a fighter that merits respect, despite the fact that he is not as well known as his future opponent. The 16-0 fighter defeated Chris Colbert earlier this year, dispatching him on short notice. He then defeated Chris Gutierrez for the title. Since the 2016 Olympian is the real deal, it won't be easy. The main focus will be determining whether Davis is foolishly preoccupied with what is ahead of him rather than what's in front of him. He may very well put on a display and achieve his 26th knockout victory if he's focused and at the top of his game on fight night. But why is Gervonta Davis so popular? Davis has risen to the top of the ranks of young boxers in the sport, thanks to the support of boxing great Floyd Mayweather Jr. He is a champion, a top lightweight talent, and he's quickly becoming one of the sport's more recognizable names. The Baltimore native has, however, seen some major setbacks in his ascent to fame. The fact about Davis is that his 27 wins and 25 knockout records has led to comparisons to a smaller Mike Tyson. He has never lost a title fight, although throughout his career, Tank has struggled to maintain his weight. He lost his chance to earn the lightweight title in 2019, when he was 1.5 pounds over the limit for a title fight against Yorkis Gamboa, after losing the IBF junior lightweight title in 2017 for being 2 pounds overweight. The Maryland teenager has had a number of run-ins with the law, including arrest for hitting a buddy in 2017, a domestic dispute with his girlfriend in 2020, and multiple charges for a hit-and-run in 2021. He has not yet served any jail time. Next up, Gervonta Davis wants Devin Haney after Hector and Ryan Garcia. After facing Hector Luis Garcia on January 7th and Ryan Garcia on April 15th of next year, Gervonta Tank Davis claims he wants to fight undefeated lightweight champion Devin The Dream Haney. It's uncertain who prevailed in a previous spar between Haney and Tank Davis. However, fighting and sparring are two wholly different things, so it's entirely feasible that Tank will be more powerful than Haney in this particular matchup. For a very long time, Haney, who has 29 wins, no losses, and 15 KOs, and his father/trainer Bill wanted to face Gervonta, 27-0, 25 KOs. Now, assuming Devin prevails in his two fights scheduled for 2023 against Vasyl Lomachenko and Shakur Stevenson, it appears that they will finally get a chance. It's doubtful whether Haney will still be holding his 4 titles at 135 by the end of next year, because those two preceding fights might not turn out in his favor. It's unfortunate that Gervonta can't face Haney following his fight with Lomachenko, because that would be a fantastic build-up to a meeting against Shakur, who has 19 wins, no losses, and 9 KOs. Ryan Garcia is more of a social media boxer than a seasoned veteran at the top tier like Stevenson, and that was not stated to minimize Ryan Garcia. After the fight between Tank and Ryan, Tank and Haney should square off. Next year, Haney will have to go through the ringer's crucible if he wants to emerge with his undefeated record and undisputed championship still standing in time for his battle with Tank Davis. Gervonta warned Devin Haney in an interview with the Rise podcast, where he stated that after defeating Ryan Garcia and Hector Luis Garcia in 2023, he wants to take on Devin Haney. He said that they should set it up after the Ryan Garcia fight if he wants to fight, and that they should tell Devin Haney's father to stop bothering him. He told Haney he should get ready and make sure he stays moving, because after these first two, he's coming straight at him. Gervonta then said that it's no longer a 50-50 contest. If Haney doesn't have any power, how is he going to keep me away? How about that? Gervonta asked in reference to Haney's lack of ability to restrain him. Undoubtedly, if Haney doesn't run the entire time, it will be impossible for him to keep Gervonta off him for the full 12 rounds. When Tank Davis was informed by Blue Blood that Haney had outperformed him during a sparring session, Tank Davis responded, saying that Haney did not get the best of him. Do you think Davis's decision to fight Hector Garcia before Ryan Garcia was a bad one? Or is it going to be an easy win for him? What other fighters do you want us to feature in future videos? Let us know through the comment section. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.